Good news, everybody. It's another sealed league match. So far I'm 2-2. The last win came after a few tweaks to bring the curve down and make some more early drop playables. So I'm going to play first here. And this looks like a hand I would like to keep. I've got the early removal spell with Slash of Talons, which is nice. I've got Dowsing Dagger if I can then curve it into any sort of creature. And that should help the ramp for anything else that I have. If I decide to flip it. If not, I can just use it as a pretty good equipment spell. Definitely happy to see the swamp there, so that way I've got a little bit more flexibility. Tokens are annoying, especially when I don't have any creatures, but I think it's fine for right now. Looks like we're both kind of dead on the draws. I'm going to vanquish the weak that. Except I cannot, which is going to be very annoying. And I probably just showed too much, but it is what it is. So that means even if it attacks with the Slash of Talons, I have to pay 3. And there it's getting away from me a little bit here. But if I can kill it, say if I can get up to 6 with the Pious, it should be okay. Now, this is where the Slash doesn't work anymore and the Vanquish doesn't help. So that's going to put a large beating on me for a while, which I'm not thrilled about. At least we can respond a little bit in kind. Might take us 2 turns, but I'm thinking we have to flip the Dowsing Dagger with that on the board. Unless we get a lot of mana in a couple goes right here. Well, this is going to make it really hard. I've not gotten any good creatures. I spent all my mana. I could have used the Slash of Talons if I had any sort of mana open, but I didn't. I have to let this go, because next turn I can equip and play Vampire Zeal to take out his creature. There's a good chance he bounces the Sky March at that point. I would like to attack in with it so that way I can get the mana since I'm kind of stuck right now. So if I equip and I attack in, that gives me 6 mana. So I could lock it down, which isn't a bad idea. Or I could hold it up and wait for the Vampire Zeal. which is what I think I'll do. Because after that, I can play Vanquish the Weak on his little dude. It's still a risky play, whereas attacking in is less risky, and flipping it is less risky at this point. Because he might have a bounce, or he might have something else. So let's go for the blocks. So it lands, we take out his merfolk, which is good. It's a massive help for us. That still hurts. He's able to make it jump. But we still have the pious interdiction. Sadly, he can still crew his galleon, and we don't have the mana to stop it unless I flip it. Which I don't really want to flip it at this point. Because it will make things, especially because he has a lot of mana, really difficult for us. So yeah, I decided to flip it just to get rid of the galleon when he does crew it, just to make sure that it doesn't overrun the game. That's not fun to see either. Makes sense that he would take that out. We don't have much recourse against that. Now this becomes a bit of a dead card. I can't attack in to deal with his Relic Seeker, and he will probably just kill off the Sky March next turn. So I don't really want to share too much more, because I don't see a way of surviving past this. So I'll just see if he overextends or shows anything else. So now we know that he's got contract killing as well. So that was definitely a little upsetting. Just not getting what we needed in time for that. Just because his dudes were bigger and he was able to attack in more often. It might be worth it to toss in the Demystify instead of something, but I'm not sure what I would take out for it. But that's about it for the sideboarding, and I'm not thrilled about Demystify. But it might be good instead of Queen's Commission. I would have preferred if it was a disenchant or something that could take out artifacts as well. But it doesn't look like I'm getting lucky with that. So I will swap it for the Queen's Commission, and let's see what happens. Hopefully I get a little bit more in the early game. So I'm going to keep this hand. I would prefer some lower crossed, or some plains as well here, but at least I'll be able to get the Blood March. Would have been really nice to have the plains for the Raptor Companion, and hopefully I don't get mana screwed here next turn. I definitely don't need that against his deck. I'm glad to have both of these in case he pops down any of his major bombs there. You know, getting rid of a planeswalker is really nice. And it's pretty crazy that he has 2 planeswalkers. We're just going to make life a lot harder for us. I'm not a fan of this because I'm more afraid of his other planeswalker, but I'm happy to try to get rid of it. The flavor win is always a little fun. Hopefully it doesn't cast the next Playwalker anytime soon. The Call to the Feast helps at least a little bit, because we should be able to get in, deal some solid damage, to take off some of those tokens without too many blockers in the way. It's definitely annoying to get 2 for 1, but I will take out his creature with the Slash of Talons. Should have been ready for this flash blue creature or the green flash creature. Vampire's Zeal is definitely would have been nice last turn, but at least it's good enough with the tokens that we have, so that way he won't get a draw card off of the enrage trigger for his raptors. I definitely don't want this game to keep dragging along, just because, you know, we do know that he's got quite a few bombs in store for us, and I'd rather not see those anytime soon. It's definitely an annoying card. I'd prefer not to take it out with the Pious. Interdiction, just because that seems like it'd be a little bit of a waste. And I know he's got other things that might make it tricky for us. So I'm going to hold off this turn and see what we get next. And I'm glad that we held off. I'm definitely happier putting that on the 6/6 creature. I'd love to attack in and hope that he'd block with a Deadeye, but I'm just not sure if that's going to happen. So I'm going to hold off this turn. And we've got that now. He's probably going to take out the Ixalan's Binding. Or the other one. Knowing that he can do it again next turn and just deck me. This doesn't add enough stats to be able to kill it, so we're just gonna have to take it. Maybe it'll be fun and we can get a hold of yeah, I think this is over. Boneyard Parlay is nice. We can have some fun with this. I don't think it's going to help a ton, but we can see what we can do. Let's at least have some fun with everything in our graveyards. So, because of the Bishop of the Bloodstained, I decided to go a little bit more vampire-y. There was also just the larger creatures that I had. Getting a card draw off his Raging Raptors would be nice. 3/3 Flyer is always nice. Deathless Ancient would be fun to have that in hand. I'm not totally sure how he's going to split it out. I'm totally fine keeping the Deathless Ancient in the grave because I've got enough vampires to bring it back. I like the top pile. I should get some cards off those Raging Raptors. The Bloodstain I can throw in front of a few things and it's going to do some damage. And the Flyer is also nice to just block and throw in front of his stuff. And I can use all of it to bring the Deathless Ancient back next and use the Vampire Zeal on that. So depending on what he kills and what he attacks in with, well, that definitely changes it a little bit. It makes it harder to go in for an Alpha Strike. I wouldn't quite have enough for it, because if he blocked the Bishop with his Skittering, that's still only 5 damage that gets through. Interesting that he only swings in with the Flyer. Sadly, he's probably going to destroy it next turn, which is going to be really painful for us. But I don't really have any other plays, so I definitely need to do that. And I don't have enough to attack into his Relic Seeker. So I think I'm going down again this turn. It's hard to play against a deck with 4 mythics or rares, 2 of them being planeswalkers, 1 of them being an amazing planeswalker. Getting decked is real, which is a bummer. But it is what it is. At least I know I'll draw something. I don't know if it'll be useful. Ruin Raider isn't exactly what I need right now. Both games this has now come up as a blank for us, which isn't nice. But I can throw it up as a roadblock, see if I can block things. This is probably stupid, but I'll swing in at him. I don't think I'll be able to win next turn, but especially with all these tokens on the ground. But let's see how he attacks. That's right, five of his riders were playable. That was stupid. I should have blocked. I might have been able to... No, I would not have been able to win.